All right. Shows that we're live. All right, so let me do a test. Shows that we're live. All right, so let me do a test. Okay. Shows that we're live. All right, so let me do a test. Okay. Shows that we're live. Okay. All right, Shalom. Just coming back with another live lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, and all praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well and that do teach well. Shalom to the hopeful elect, and a Bible ball. Right, so title of the video today, or the live show today, is going to be called Big Brother is Protecting You. And the inspiration comes from an article that I found on zerohedge.com. And I post a link in the description if you want to go and read it yourself, right? Which I'm going to read it. But it says, NYC mayor declares Big Brother is protecting you. This was posted yesterday, right? This was posted yesterday. So let me just share the screen. Okay. So NYC mayor, New York City mayor declares Big Brother is protecting you. Now it says New York City Mayor Eric Adams responded to criticism over increasing the use of facial recognition technology by declaring Big Brother is protecting you. And this came out of his mouth, right? Obviously, he's set up to tell you this. You know, he has an agenda to push because he's working with people who are behind the scenes that are controlling everything. So he has to say these things. You know, he's a Jake, you know, no hair on his head, smooth face, wearing a suit and tie. So you know what spirit he's coming in, right? Now it says Adams made the comments in response to elected officials who expressed concerns that using such technology could bring to an all-pervasive surveillance state. Blaming his predecessor, Bill de Blasio, Adams asserted that New Yorkers felt they were living in a state of lawlessness and that his priority was to stabilize the situation. And really by prying into your lives and taking away your rights, right? You see, that's Hegelian dialectic. They created problems. And I noticed over like the holidays, you've been seeing a lot of people get blown away, like random people getting killed during Christmas time or right before Christmas. I was reading an article on the Gateway Pundit, and it was a 64-year-old mother. She ended up getting her brains blown out in broad daylight, man, just by walking home. You know, and it makes you think, man, are they just killing people to take away your rights? Like, obviously, there's crime. We know crimes. There's always going to be crime. We know that, and we live in Babylon. There's always going to be crime. But sometimes you have to just wonder, you know, I can't help but just wonder that, you know, it's all a psyop. You know, they're probably just killing people so they can push their agenda. We know this, but it just makes me think, right? And the reason why I say Hegelian dialectic is because it's a problem, reaction, and solution. You know, they created a problem. They created the war on drugs. They caused a lot of people to commit crime. And now they got your reaction saying, oh, please, Big Daddy, Big Brother, come solve the problem. Right? And then they come with a solution. What is the solution? Bring forth the MOTB in a surveillance state. Bring forth digital tracking. Right? So you just have to think about that. That's just my opinion. But it says, facial recognition technology uses surveillance cameras to flag up individuals who appear on databases of criminal suspects when they enter certain public locations. Although the technology is far from perfect, we will also move forward on using the latest in technology to identify problems, follow up on leads, and collect evidence, from facial recognition technology to new tools that can spot those carrying weapons, We will use every available method to keep our people safe, Adams previously asserted. And this is going into, obviously, the MOTB, a social credit system, right? Surveillance, civilian surveillance through cameras, through all these different, these different technologies that they have, whether it comes through your smartphone, whether it comes through a street camera, right? Could be whatever, right? So they're going to spy on you, keep complete control. Do you really want something like this? Do you? I know I don't. And excuse me, the Lord definitely doesn't want something like this. All right, so I'm going to start off with one precept here. It's Revelation chapter 13:11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Right, and I brought this out in my last video, but I'm going to bring it out again. And, that beast is really America, right? America on the scenes. And they do have 2 horns like a lamb, because that goes into their politics, right? The 2-party system that they have. You have Democrats and Republicans, right? And they obviously work for the same team, or they work for the same person behind the scenes, and they use a lot of news speech. They use a lot of propaganda, to trick you into buying into their agenda. And that's what you see here, because he's a politician. Whether he's a liberal, whether he's a conservative, it doesn't matter, because the agenda, they have an agenda to fulfill, right? Or to meet, right? And they're going to do whatever it takes to fill that, to make sure that agenda comes out, or those plans come out, right? So he's telling you, look, man, this MOTB system, this whole surveillance system that we're bringing, it's going to help you. It's going to protect you, right? But really, that comes with a dagger in your back, right? It's not really set up to protect you. Now, in theory, sure, theoretically speaking, it sounds great, right, to the average person, because, there's a lot of convenience that comes out of it. I feel safer. I don't have to worry about doing certain things. I don't have to worry about, protecting myself if I have to go out at a certain time of night, right? I don't have to worry about getting robbed. It's just more convenient. Wow, I can do things through a digital wallet. I don't have to have cash on me. Things of that nature, right? The list goes on. But obviously, it sounds good, but obviously it breeds a whole nother can of worms for tyranny, right? What parameters, how do you know these parameters that you're going to put in place? Like, how is it going to really stop the tyranny, right? Because obviously there's so much power that there's a lot of power. These people have a lot of power when they bring forth this system. Like, who's gonna be in charge of actually telling these people what they can and what they can't do, right? When you think about it, right? Because obviously power breeds corruption when you think of it. So in theory, it sounds great. It sounds perfect. But what parameters are you going to put in place to stop individuals that are on the highest level to breach your privacy or your personal space, right? So you got to think of it that way, right? But anyways, it says, and he spake as a dragon. That's right. So he comes in looking like a lamb. He looks innocent. He looks beautiful, but he's really speaking like a dragon. He's very cruel. Right. And that's what I just spoke of just a second ago about, who's going to stop these people from being tyrannical, right? Because they're spying on you all the time. You're always under surveillance. They have complete control over you, right? What parameters are going to be put in place to limit their power, right? And, through this surveillance state, through this whole digital tracking, this MOTB, this whole social credit system, that comes with a sword. That comes with a price. So, for example, man, you could, I'm just talking because if you have digital tracking or a chip in your hand, they can limit how much things you do in society. So for every week you have a certain amount of beef intake that you can take. So 1 week you buy beef, right? And throughout the following week, you go back to the grocery store. Then you're hungry and you still want to buy some more beef. But your tracker says you already took that amount. You've already taken your fair share amount of beef for this week. So you know what? You can't take any more beef. You can't do what you want to do. I'm just using that for an example, right? Where do you draw the lines on the limitations of their power? Like, do you really want to live that way, right? But with this whole surveillance system, with this whole MOTB, they could easily kill you if you don't comply with what they prescribe, right? And that's why it says a dragon, man. He's about to show his horns. He's about to show how cruel he can get. So let me get this. This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Yeah, he knows he has a short time to rule. And that's why he wants to set up this system. And that's why he's using these politicians, these mayors, these presidents, these political figures to push this agenda on the people, because he has a short time to rule and he knows Yahushua is coming back, right? And he's going to show great wrath towards you tribes in these last days, because he wants you to lose your birthright, because that's what it's all about, right? That's what it's all about. So there's going to be a sword behind this dragon, right? This cruel dragon. There's a sword that comes with that. He's very cruel. He's very cunning. And that's what a surveillance state is going to lead up to. It's easier for you to get framed. It's easier for you to lose control over your life. That's complete tyranny, man. All right, so that's all I wanted from that. Let me just go back here. It says the Democrat also brazenly suggested that mass surveillance wasn't a chilling, slippery slide, but in fact a good thing, right? What does the scripture say? Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. How is that good? How is creating a mass, how is bringing mass surveillance and tracking every individual in your country a good thing, right? That breeds tyranny. It shows that you have more things to fear, right? That doesn't really give, if you have common sense, if people always want to track you down, that shows something's wrong, right? Somebody's always trying to follow you around and pry into your life and see what you're doing. Something's obviously not right. That ain't good. It breeds voyeurism. It breeds stalking. Breeds all this wickedness. But in fact, a good thing. Now, let me get the precept. Woe unto them that call evil good. Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. That's right. Take the sea hip. That's a good thing. It's not darkness. Throw your life away. Pay homage to the spiritual demon Satan. I'm going to be your owner forever. I'm going to brand you. That's a good thing. And that's what they're telling you, right? But this is evil, man. And woe unto them. And that's what they're going to receive in the long run. Individuals like this, cronies of the elite and the elite, the ones at the top and the ones that are at the bottom, they're going to receive destruction in these last days. And you're going to go into slavery, and they're going to lose their riches because they're tricking people into thinking that evil is good, when this is all idolatry, man. Right? It's all idolatry. All right, so it says here, now this is his quote, okay? It blows my mind how much we have not embraced technology. And part of that is because many of our electeds are afraid. Anything technology they think, oh, it's a boogeyman. It's Big Brother watching you, he told Politico. No, Big Brother is protecting you, right? So he's telling you that, this technology, Big Brother is gonna protect you, right? The state is gonna protect you through mass surveillance. Chipping you is going to protect you. Giving you a digital wallet, a digital identity, that's going to protect you. Buying things with digital cash, that's going to protect you. Creating a social credit system, that's going to protect you. When we're not really seeing that, when you look at China, look at examples like that, right? Like I said, what are the limitations on how much control that these people have, right? Because in China, a lot of people that don't agree with the communist state, through the social credit score system, they're not treated good. They're oppressed, right? So what stops the oppression? So does this really protect you? Yeah, it will protect you if you follow what they believe in. Sure, it will protect you, right? And like I said, in theory, this all sounds great. It all sounds great to the average person, but where are the limitations? And when you filter through the scriptures, they don't have no limitations, right? When you go into Revelation chapter 13 and 15 and 16 on down, in order for you to buy or sell, you have to take the mark. So if you can buy and sell when you take the mark, that means that you follow their rules. You believe in all the wickedness that they're bringing, or that they're prescribing, right? And you have to remember, Israel, who ultimately is your big brother? Obviously, it's Yahushua first, but in the flesh, it's Esau, right? Esau doesn't like you. Esau doesn't like you. He ain't protecting you. And that's who's ahead of the state, or that's who's in control of the state. That's who's ruling behind the scenes, starting with the so-called Jew. I'm going to put the Rothschilds. Okay, that's your big brother on the left-hand side. And guess what? He is not protecting you. And this guy's telling you a lie, saying that he is going to protect you. It's ridiculous. All right, so I'm gonna get into that, because your big brother Cain, your big brother Esau, the so-called white man, he don't like you. He don't like you, man. And he wants to kill you. He ain't here to protect you. And that's the spirit that these elites are coming in. They're coming in the spirit of Cain, Kwayan, which is a weapon, man. A spear, a dagger. Okay, and guess what? He killed Abel, his brother, man, which represents Jacob. Okay, in the reincarnation. So anyways, Genesis chapter 4 and 9. Actually, 4 and 8. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. Yeah, because he was jealous, and he couldn't accept that his offering was garbage in the sight of the Lord. So he got bent out of shape, because the Lord accepted Abel's blessing, because he came right, he came correct. He gave him an unblemished lamb as a sacrifice. Right? All right, so when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him. That's right, he killed him, man. All right, killed him. He was probably all friendly about it in the beginning, He meditated upon it. It was premeditated. He's like, okay, I'm gonna plan it out. When nobody's around, I'm gonna take him in the field and I'm gonna hit him while he's not looking. Right. But before I do that, I'm gonna soften him up. I'm gonna make sure he's off his guard. I'm gonna say he's the best. I'm gonna smooth talk him. And that's what these politicians are set up to do, and that's what the elites pay them to do. Sweet talk you, to get you off your game, to get you off your guard, so they can club you behind the head, man. And ultimately, that's what this whole surveillance system and that's what this MOTB system is going to do. It's going to catch a lot of you Israelites off guard and then kill you. All right? Because whoever takes this MOTB, whoever buys into this system, woe unto you. And that's what the scripture says. So Big Brother is never protecting you, man. Big Brother don't have your interests, man. All right? That's the problem with you tribes, man. You think the so-called white man likes you. You think the elites care about you. They don't give a shit about you. All right. So it says, verse 9, and Yahweh said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And the Lord's asking, where's your brother, man? What are you doing? Never go anywhere without family. Where's your family? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? That's right. So he had the audacity to lie to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. He said, I don't know. And when the Lord knows, because he's all knowing. He's the power of knowledge. He knows everything. But he wanted to test this guy's integrity to see if he was going to be benevolent and confess and own up to his wickedness. Because when you come before the Lord, it's always a confession. When you see the Lord, it's always a confession. And it's always time for you to get judged. It's time for you to get a confession, and it's time for you to get judged. And that's the fate of Cain, man. It was all about really if he was going to confess and own up, and he was going to get judged. All right, that's what you see here. So he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? So he's like, I'm not my brother's keeper, man. I don't have to be responsible for him. And Esau, that's how he feels, man. I don't got to be responsible for you, big brother. Big Red. Big brother Red. He's not responsible for you, even though he's the firstborn. And even though the scripture says the elder shall serve the younger, he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't subscribe to that. And that's why he's bringing out this MOTB, mass surveillance, digital tracking. I'm going to say it slow for you numbskulls, you bird brain Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and you Israelite foreigners that are scattered abroad. I'm going to say it nice and slow because you're very slow. It's almost 2023. The year 2023 is right around the corner, a couple days away now. And people are still stuck on stupid, man. Right? This guy does not love you, and he's not protecting you. So it says, as in George Orwell's 1984 dystopian classic, Adams presumably thinks that New Yorkers will learn to love Big Brother. Albert Fox-Khan, the head of the Surveillance Technology Oversight Project, responded by warning that facial recognition technology would be weaponized to crack down on every aspect of dissent in the city. Right? Like I said, man, where are the limits to how much power these people have? Like, what parameters are you going to put in place so it doesn't become tyrannical, where they start framing people, where they start oppressing people, right? Entrapping you with crimes, man. If you don't abide by the state, I'm just saying, if you don't subscribe to what the state is promoting in their ideology, if you don't subscribe to that, are they going to get tyrannical because of that? And you're seeing that in China. You don't have, just because you don't necessarily agree with something doesn't mean you're a criminal. You just don't agree, right? So a lot of people will just get framed or thrown in jail just because they don't agree. Where are the limitations, man? What parameters are going to be put in place? I keep saying that, kind of redundant. But it says these are technologies that would be chilling in anyone's hand. That's right. But to give an agency with such a horrifying record of surveillance abuse even more power at a time when they face dwindling oversight is a recipe for disaster, he said. So the man is right. And that's what I've been saying the whole time. It's true. It is a recipe for disaster, right? Civil liberties advocates have warned that making facial recognition technology ubiquitous, which means everywhere, could lead to a Minority Report style society. I believe that was a movie. It's like they had the, I think it was hold on, let me just see. I think that was the one with Tom Cruise, right? I think that was with Tom Cruise, right? Yeah, that's with Tom Cruise. Yeah, okay. So Minority Report. So they had technology in the movie. They had like a machine, right? It can like predict a crime. It can predict when individuals in their city can commit a crime, right? So that's what they're going into. It's like that's basically what we're going into. That's the stage where we're headed. You know, that's where we're headed, right? So, like I said, how are you going to control that, right? How is this not going to get out of hand? Where everyone, whether they have a criminal record or not, is tracked everywhere they go. That's right. In China, authorities expanded the use of the tech as a form of permission slip to decide whether citizens are allowed to get online, an extension of the communist state's social credit score program. That's right. Right. So you can't do certain things if your social credit score isn't good, right? And if it isn't good, they'll cut you off. All right. So at present, a Chinese citizen will need to show his or her ID card while applying for a landline or the internet, reported the Daily Mail. The facial recognition test is set to verify that the ID card belongs to the applicant. As we previously highlighted, technology that reveals a person's identity without them even knowing they are being exposed has long been a goal of globalist technocrats. Right? And they've been working on this technology for a very long time, centuries, perfecting how they can track you. First started with the passport that they brought in. I believe I think that was what is it? I think it was during World War I or World War II they brought in the passport. Then after that, they started doing more things to track you, right? Anyways, so let's go to Genesis chapter 27, verse 41, going into how Esau hates you. Big brother doesn't care. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. That's that perpetual hatred, man. You know, and he's upset because you're blessed. You know, ultimately you're going to inherit all things. And he hates that. And that's why he wants to track you and everybody and everything on this planet, starting with you Israelites. Okay, he wants that blessing. He wants that blessing back, and he's jealous. He hates you. The days of mourning for my father at hand. Then I will slay my brother Jacob. That's right. So when my dad dies, then I'm going to kill him, slay him. And he's still thinking that way to this very day. Every opportunity that he gets, he's going to slay you. Whether it be physical, whether it be financial, spiritual, he wants to kill you, man. But you know what? There's a remnant that he can't destroy. There's a remnant that is eternal, all right? That's set up to inherit all things, and that they're set up to be the first fruits. You can't kill them. You can't deceive the elect, right? All right, so here we go. Let's go to the next one. Yeah, this is Genesis chapter 25, verse 22. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. All right, so two different people. One's going to be stronger, one's going to be weaker, right? They're going to be two nations, right? They're going to be different. They're going to have different mannerisms, characteristics, right? They're going to look different. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and that's you Israelites. You're stronger than the Edomites, spiritually, first and foremost, and then physically how it plays out, right? Then the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And that's the point I want to get at. The elder shall serve the younger, and this is what he's running away from. You know, and who comes out of this nation? Really, Yahushai. They don't want to serve Yahushai and the nation of Israel. They don't want to serve you. So when this guy, this Jake, if he is one, or I don't know, it could be a terror. I don't know. I don't really care. But he's telling you things like, no, Big Brother is protecting you. That's false, man. Big Brother don't want to protect you. He wants your birthright. He wants to kill you. And this is ancient, man. This goes back to the ancient world a long time ago. Burning hatred. And he doesn't want to serve the younger. And he knows he's older. All right, so that's all I want from there. Let's get this. 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and 11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. That's right. You should not be ignorant in these times. You should not be ignorant. You know, ignorant means stupid, dumb, not knowing anything. And these are some of his devices, man. The evil intent. You know, the society of surveillance, the Minority Report, right? Where did it say it? Yeah, here it is. Minority Report style society. That's what he wants to bring in, where everything is tracked, documented, stored away, complete control. A more centralized government, right? That's what he wants. And you can't be ignorant of these devices, man. And some of these devices come in the form of the C8, the C-HIP, the C19, right? Lockdowns, which they're predicting that we're going to have more lockdowns, which I don't really care. But, you know, this is all going to bring in the mandatory MOTB, social credit system, right? So you shouldn't be ignorant of these things. Now let's look at that word device. A lot of our people, they're you know, they have their head up their ass. That's why the Lord says they are sawdust children. They are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, man. Hosea 4 and 6. So it says device, a mental perception, thought, and evil purpose. That which thinks the mind, thoughts, or purposes. All right. So, you know, there's an evil, nefarious plot behind all of this. So it's not set up to liberate you. It's set up to keep you in bondage. And you should not be ignorant, man. You should know the signs. You should be looking into the news, getting into current events, you know, studying off of your elders, your apostles, your camp heads, asking questions. You know, and some men are just too proud to ask for help, man. Some men are just too proud to ask for help. You know, you have all the answers right in front of you. You have all the help that you need, but some men are just too fucking proud. You know, too fucking proud. And that's going to be your downfall, because the scripture says pride goeth before destruction and a haughty look before fall. Right? So, hey, you better eat up your pride, man. You better take your pride away, or you might get caught up into this. I'm talking about men in the truth, in the different camps, wherever you may be. You know, put your pride aside. If you need help, ask for it. You know, because guess what? You might get caught up in this device for you not bringing down your pride. Just because you're in the truth doesn't mean you're safe. Now you have more to fear. Okay? Really, you ultimately fear the Lord. If you stop fearing the Lord and you start getting proud, you're going to get fucked up. A lot of men are going to get fucked up, man. A lot of men are going to get fucked up, and I hope I'm not one of those men that get fucked up. You know? All right, so let's go to what else do I have here? No, that's not what I want. Yeah, that's all I pretty much have. Well, I'll end off with Revelation 13 and 16. So this is Revelation chapter 13 and 16, which pretty much sums up everything that we're talking about, the surveillance state, MOTB. It all falls into this. You know, this is all the perfecting of the CHIP, the MOTB, that system. This all leads up to it, right? It says here, Revelation 13 and 16, and he calleth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. That's right. So anybody that doesn't have a criminal record and everybody that has a criminal record will be tracked. That's what they're talking about in here. Okay, surveillance state, MOTB, to receive a mark on their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So you got to have this mark to buy or sell, to be a part of this system, whether you have a criminal record or whether you don't. You got to have it. And if you don't have it, you're going to become an enemy. And that's where that dragon is going to come down with great wrath, knowing that he had a short time. That's where this is going to fall into. If you're not with this system, you're going to be branded as an outlaw or an outcast, right? You're an enemy to the state. They don't like you. And you're going to follow guys like this, bald-headed men in business suits, you know, his face is as smooth as a baby's bum. You're going to follow guys like this where he's telling you things that Big Brother is protecting you. That ain't true. That ain't true. Big Brother is trying to kill you. And it comes down with this. So there you go. Real soon, if you want to partake in this society, you're going to have to become the barcode. If you're not the barcode and you don't subscribe to the mark, to the image, you will be put to death and branded as an outlaw. Okay? That's tyranny, man. So with that, just want to give all praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah Kwadash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, that rule well and that do teach well. And shalom to the hopeful elect, Kwam Yashala, and Abba Ball. Shalom.